Hello and welcome to episode number 2 of whatever we're calling this. Maybe we'll call it This Bootstrapped Life. I don't know. We'll work on it. This one will be a little bit shorter. I think this past week, while there have been updates that are interesting and exciting, it's not going to be the same as sharing a few months of updates in terms of starting the company, SkyPorch, and all of these sort of things. And now there is context around SkyPorch, what it is we started, what is the business model, what we're doing, all that kind of stuff. Biggest thing this past week, we've made 2 part-time hires. I am very stoked about this because one of them is in marketing and business, which we definitely need insights on, and other is in design, which we could also really use, given that CY and I are both engineers on this full-time. And while we can do some design, we tend to not prefer it at the moment. So this will be helpful. Having experts is a wonderful thing. This is also forcing me to get better at writing internally. When it's just 2 people at a company like this, you tend to just DM each other on Slack or wherever. But now I'm confronted with the reality that, okay, there are 4 of us that need to stay on the same page and stay aligned on what our goals are, and so to that end, we need a North Star that is visible to everyone internally. And so for the first time, I'm writing out strategy docs that really outline what our goals are with this company, which is also bringing to light the things that I'm doing on a given day-to-day basis that maybe don't help as much as I think. And the reality is that I have had a pretty chaotic 1-2 months so far where I'm doing all this client stuff, I'm doing all this content, I'm doing all this internal product studio work as well with Vision OS, with the language learning stuff. And so the days have been in disarray. And this also is bringing to light the value of having a North Star on a given daily basis. And so I've reintroduced this system that I heard from a coworker years ago called the one big thing, or I think OBT, perhaps is what it might be called. And so the idea being what is the highest leverage thing that you should be doing on that day, to where if you do that, then nothing else matters too much, which means that you then become freed up to feel like you're not extraordinarily stressed about what remains because you did the one big thing that will actually move the needle long term. That has been helpful this past week, to really start to focus on systems and what are the things that I can be doing that empower others internally to make it so that it's not all on one person to do a lot of things that they shouldn't be doing necessarily. I do believe in the idea that to do your best work, you need to have the mental space to do so. And when your days are just clogged with tasks and you're chronically underslept, then you just make things harder on yourself for no great reason. And while, there's an argument to know your limits and to push yourself in this way once in a while, I feel like I've found my limits and I'm ready to systematize what we're doing or what I've been doing and to focus on what I'm good at and start to have help for what I'm less good at. Which is not to say that I don't want to learn those things that I'm not good at. I actually do really want to spend time on those things too. But I have to think about what makes sense to spend time on, what is top priority in a given day. So anyways, that's the big update from the past week, is that now there are going to be 4 of us, which is awesome. It does mean, though, that we're going to be operating closer to break even. But for right now, I think it's fine. I think that what's most important right now is that we create momentum internally. I think between CY and I, we've been doing a lot of client work, and it's been difficult to build momentum on our products internally. So having more help like this, especially with things that we're not as good at, that maybe takes a little more time from us, like in terms of marketing, design, that kind of thing, I think will help us move more quickly internally and also clarify our thinking so that we do work and we pick off tasks that actually make sense given where we are. So this is a pretty big moment. I think we're going to move from working in disarray and without a real North Star to, okay, now we have a rough roadmap of where we're going. We are bringing the questions out in the open that we need to answer that have either been unanswered or not even thought about, or just gaps entirely. So these new perspectives will be very valuable, I think. Much like when CY came on a few months ago, and how I instantly realized the value of that. And to me, like even before that, I felt really good about it, but it became completely obvious after the fact. I fully expect the same thing to happen here, where as soon as these two come on and spend time at SkyPorch, I will wonder why I didn't consider it sooner, potentially. So I am very excited about this. I think it's one more inflection point and level up moment. It's also nice to start to write out my strategies in documents. I think having them scribbled across all of my notes has made me stressed out a little more, because I just don't know where things are, in a way that now, like, I've started using Notion to write these documents, and it's just nice to like have a North Star that I can look to and know, like, this is where the strategy is, and these are the open-ended questions that remain to be answered, and we're all collaborating on this document and thinking about it together and referencing it. So that's the main thing there. Trying to focus more, trying to systematize more, and not just do whatever seems like the most urgent thing. Because I've also discovered, at least for me, maybe this is true for other people as well, a lot of urgency is manufactured. There's a voice in our heads that's often like, oh, I'm supposed to do this by this time, or like, I've been doing this task for a while, like I have to get it done today, right? But the reality is a lot of things are not that urgent. And actually a lot of problems do tend to just go away on their own sometimes. So this is also a reminder for me, and maybe for you, to really evaluate what is actually urgent for you. And maybe there is something else that's higher leverage that you could be focusing on that wasn't on your radar the same way, or that you were putting off because you thought there was this other stuff that's more important. So I'm trying to keep that in mind a little more. I think in entrepreneurship, there are always a bajillion things you could be doing. And I think this is actually true for a lot of jobs as well, where like you can always pick off more from the pile, but it is up to you to ruthlessly prioritize those tasks and figure out which of those will actually move the needle long term. And I think it's not that easy. It's a tough skill, and I think I'm very far from having mastered it. And so I think I'm being forced to confront it, at least, and work on it, but remains to be seen how that'll evolve over time. Beyond that, I have one ask. If you are learning any foreign languages right now, and that are particularly one of Spanish, French, Korean, Japanese, or Mandarin Chinese, please check the description of this video. There's an incentive if you want to work with us on beta testing one of our tools coming up. That would be awesome. I think you'd get something out of it as well, in addition to whatever incentive. So check it out. And for now, that's all for this week, at least. We'll see you for episode number 3 of whatever this is. Thanks. Bye.